All right, welcome back to another episode of the Wolves Only podcast, powered by JWX. And ladies, what's up?
What's up?
All right, so we tried this already, and it didn't go so hot. We did this on Riverside. Now we're in person, so if you guys are watching, we are all in the same room this time in the Wolves Only studio. But we tried to do this on Riverside abroad. Well, you guys were an hour away.
Yeah, an hour and a half.
Okay.
Yeah.
And everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. And the worst part about it was the conversation was so good.
It was. And it was two hours.
It was a long time.
Yeah.
It was a
good.
long time. We're missing Channy, which is sad. But we're going to do our very best to relive this. And it was like I said, like Channy's signal was going in and out. Your wall fell down. Our pets' heads were falling off. It was like, what the hell are we doing right now? It was like Bush League. So now I have you guys in person.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we get to start over, start fresh. And starting fresh, man, I think all three of us have this in common, right?
Yeah.
Second chances, third chances.
Yeah.
A lot of chances.
All the chances.
All the chances.
Any chances. Yeah.
I learned a lot about you guys on the last show, so there's some really cool things that I want to dive into. We talked a lot about, we're both alcoholics. Proud alcoholics. And
Still recovering.
Yeah, well, I don't think that ever ends. And garden variety drug addict? Or no? Mostly alcoholic.
Oh, no. Oh, no. You throw the cocaine in there, weed, acid, mushrooms. I mean, I probably didn't dabble in, like, I guess what some would call harder drugs, like heroin. I just never had an interest. I was an upper girl. I wanted things that got me going. Where are we going? How long are we going? If we're done, let's go get more.
Yeah.
Because, alcohol is a depressant. It just brings you down.
Right.
So you need something to stimulate. And
right. Well, yeah,
energy
the more
drinks
you
go
take,
so
the
far.
more you can drink, right? So,
Absolutely.
yeah, I mean, I took Adderall as a drinking aid.
Yeah.
It
was a long night. Get some Adderall. That was the beginning phases,
Yep. Oh, yeah.
High school.
That's where it started
That's
for me,
where it
too.
started, yeah.
That's where it started for me, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild. It's wild. And you're a mama.
I am a mama.
But still a bodybuilder.
Still. But actually, I didn't start bodybuilding until after I had my baby, so.
That's, I love hearing that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. Again, like when we talk about like rebounding, right? And not like in relationships, because that's not
never.
count.
It normally never ends well.
No, it doesn't ever end
don't.
well. But in your life, when we get to rebound, when we have our second chances, when we're able to take, and whether it is like, a lot of times for women, when after they have a child, they have a hard time rebounding and recovering from that, right? Mm-hmm. Where was the mindset for you that took you from postpartum to jacked? Like this and like this and like doing all the things. Like, yeah, wow, yeah, you're really jacked.
Her upper body is where it's at. Mine's like, no, I think because right when I found out I was pregnant, I was getting ready for my first show, actually. So it was like I was already in the mindset of doing one, but it was kind of like, I guess I'll do, like, you guess, but then after I had her, it was like full steam ahead.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, she saved my life.
Some people would say that it's a pretty selfish road to travel after you have a child. But I disagree.
I do too.
But the attitude I think a lot of women have is like, how can you take all this time on yourself when and I don't think many women understand it, or that's just a mental roadblock that they have, to where it's like, how can having a child is really
society.
hard.
It's society that stems this mental block for women, that you're a mom. Your whole life is surrounded by what your kids need, not what you need. But people don't realize on the back end, if you're like, same thing with what we talked about earlier. If you don't love yourself, how can you love anybody else?
Right.
That goes the same thing in raising a child. Like,
right.
if you can't spare time for yourself, like, you have to be able to teach your kids that. Because
right.
you need that alone time. You need that meditation time to regroup and enjoy life.
100%. I think that, it's actually pretty selfless to take some time to become so ingrained in in your well-being, your competitive edge, and being able to have something proud to take home with you to show your child what can be done, especially when you have a little girl.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yep. I remember when I cut into the cake, because I was, in my mind, I was like, oh, I'm going to have a boy. I was wrong. And I saw pink and my face went from to, oh crap, I'm going to have another me in the world. And I remember even before I ever found out I was pregnant, even had the mindset of being a mom, I remember I would always say the world is not ready for another me. And then as soon as I saw that pink, I'm like, all right, world, here she comes. Baby Peaches is on her way.
I think we always think that ahead of time, and it's a little narcissistic. I would think the same exact way.
Yeah.
I don't think that it's necessarily egotistical. Egotistical is doing it over and over and over
Right.
again. You mentioned that your family has a shitload of kids.
Oh my gosh.
I will tell you, Steve is at the cutoff of when it becomes egotistical. In my eyes, Steve's got 3, and it's like, oh, okay, all right, you got 3. But when you start hitting 4, 5, 6, it's like, how many of you really do you need around, right?
Oh my Lord.
It's pretty egotistical.
That's a lot of love to give.
It's a lot of love to give, and it's just a lot of.
It's a lot of Christmas presents.
It's a lot of Christmas presents.
I was gonna say.
Yeah. Then throw in a little splash of divorce, huh?
no,
now you're
geez.
gonna. No, that's so dark. I'm sorry.
It's okay. We could get darker and say how many baby mamas are in that mix too. So
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
not speaking from experience or anything, but
So you just have the one.
yes. But I've dated those that have other baby mamas and have 5, 6, however many kids. Yeah. So
Just can't learn, right?
guess not.
Or sometimes I look at it a little different, and maybe it's that it's not about you didn't learn, you learned something more from the character of who you were with, and you fell in love again, and you're choosing to have another child because you found something better, more valuable, something else that you can
Would
get
you
from
say
it.
that stems almost as an addiction of some people can be addicted to having kids?
I think it's actually codependency.
Yeah.
Quite frankly,
is
I think that a lot of times, it's a relationship is on its last leaf,
Yeah.
and it's what are we supposed to do?
Let's pop out
and
a
it's
baby.
let's shit out a kid and see if this saves our relationship. And the relationship was doomed, and now it's extra doomed because now you have child support
Yeah.
and
Whatever
custody
else.
and
Yeah.
all the other stuff that's involved. And it's there's no It's a very hard situation to put yourself in, but again, people don't learn their lessons,
Right.
and that's the mindset that a lot of people get themselves into. So yeah, I have a grim outlook on things like all of this, so I don't want to get too far into it because the world will hate me.
I wouldn't say it's grim though. I would say it's more of it's realistic. It's from
Everything
your
is realistic. Everything is logical in my eyes.
But no one wants to see that picture right in front of them. They'd rather just kind of be, oh, it's back there.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yep.
Leave it on the shelf.
Yep. I mean, I'm the first person. Someone's like, I'm having issues, with my partner, and I'm like, leave them. I don't even want to know what the issues are. I'm just like, leave them. Yeah.
Sadly, I think for me, I'm very similar, but I'm like, well, why? I'd rather ask why, and then kind of how you do it. What else is wrong?
Yeah.
What else is wrong?
Yeah. Well, usually you don't have to ask why. And it's a lot of times, and I do believe that there's 2 sides to every story. And then there's the truth, right? But
So 3 sides, yeah.
there's 3 sides to every story. But a lot of times when it's more of my advice to women.
Okay.
I don't know why. I am not the person to come at for relationship advice. Okay. I'm in a very solid relationship, right? But my history is not so hot. And with that being said, I don't know why I am that guy, but I think because I experienced it from the man's point of view. I have been a selfish man, and I have had a woman leave me ghost me with everything. And it was the best thing that could have ever happened to me. So when a woman comes to me, and it's usually something that is my man doesn't believe in me. My man doesn't, support my goals, my visions, things like that. And I don't really need to hear his side. Because it's like, okay, well, this is your life. This is your goals. This is your support. And if you don't feel like you're getting it, what do you think is going to change? Other than straight up proving them wrong. But if you don't have the support system, then it's going to be a lot harder.
How are you going to even get there when
Right.
the person you rely on the most to be your support system is like, you're not going to ever do it. It's a waste of fucking time. Why are you doing this? It's almost like they're being selfish. Like they don't want to see you succeed. And that's what
they're dragging you down.
Or you're going to end up leaving them anyways because you're going to find someone that can support you in that. And then you're like, well, what's this useless bag of poo over
you
here?
You stay complacent and you stay with them and you keep complaining.
Well, that's the other thing too, because it is the mindset of comfort, right?
Yeah.
It's very hard you can't pick and choose where you point your drive.
Yeah.
Right? Like I'm going to put something out. Did I already put it out? I don't know. I've been dropping so much fucking content lately, but I wanted, something about balance, right? And that it is not realistic. Okay. Mm-hmm. It is not realistic. I have this new thing that I came up with yesterday with, Casey. Energy allocation.
Oh. Casey's great with wordplay.
No, I came up with it.
Oh, you did?
That was me.
Oh, good.
No.
Trademarked.
Sorry,
5
Casey.
stars. Yes, mine.
Yes. Okay.
Energy allocation. It's kind of like time management, though.
but it sounds better.
It sounds better.
It sounds better.
And energy allocation is like, I talk about it like this. Like, I personally take, we all have the same 24 hours in our day, right? But it's like the small amounts of time that you waste doing certain things, if you were to apply more energy and during those times, or you were able to make better use of those times. So, small example, I bought a barber chair.
Okay.
I bought a barber chair. My barber's in Newport. Not for my hair. Not for my hair. But I went on Amazon and I bought a decent barber chair that looks nice in my living room. Okay. Now, my barber is in Newport. So if I go 15 minutes there, 15 minutes back, I spend a half hour to an hour in his chair. This takes work. You guys think that like you can, it takes forever to put yourselves together. This takes work. Okay.
We know.
This gorgeous. This is,
Both of our men have beards. We know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a long process.
It is.
It's a long process.
I wasn't arguing.
Okay. I know, but I just feel like I get judged. Okay. So I was like, you know what? If I could like take the commute away from going to the barber, right? And I go every week, right? So he comes to me.
Okay. That's not bad. That's great.
It's great.
Yeah.
But it's like, but think about it. If you're able to save that time, like, and you're able to find ways to like all the extra shit that you do, I think I have 25 hours in the day.
Oh, shit.
You're adding time.
I like that.
Every little thing that I can think of, I try to, that's why our studio is right here. I live 3 blocks that way.
Yeah. It's, you had posted something the other day, like, what's your ceiling? And that hit me. Cause I was like, I went through this whole thing just recently with me. I'm like, my hormones must be off. I'm perimenopause. I'm not motivated. I have none of this. Like, I'll still go to the gym and do my discipline. But I just felt so off for some reason. So what did I do? I went and got my blood test, checked and everything. My levels are perfect. They're like, you're beautiful. I'm like, so it's just me? Yeah, it's just my mindset. And I had to think, and that resonated on me hard. I'm like, what the is my ceiling? And I picked out a few things that were keeping me at this level.
Let's get into this.
A TV show.
What's the TV show?
Yellowstone.
Pretty good. That's a pretty good.
That is a great. It's a great show. I like to think of myself as Beth.
Finding myself watching it more so often when I should have been reading a book more.
Yeah, sure.
Or shit like that. And then now I set a timer on my phone when I go on Instagram, because if I'm not doing business and I'm just scrolling, I set that timer. It's a 15-20 minute timer now, and that automatically gets me off. I just had to do those few things, and now I'm getting more time. I was able to get 2 calls in. I have another one scheduled. So I'm utilizing the time that I have now.
Sure.
I mean, gosh, yes, I want to finish Yellowstone, but I want my
business. I know, because then when you finish that, you got to
thrive.
get into 1883.
I've already watched it.
Oh, you have?
You have to start with 1883 to understand Yellowstone.
So you're watching it in machete order.
Yes, sensei. But with that being said, yeah, it directed me back to my business, because like I said, I want to thrive in this bitch. Like, I want to speak to people. I want to change lives. Like, like drastically, like how you empower people. And I bring this back to you saying like, well, why do women come to me? Because you have this like way to you as well, because they see that you are successful. You tell it how it is, and you're not like, you're a go-getter, and women see that. They see the power, and they want that authority, because they're not getting it from their partner that's just bringing them down. Like I totally am gravitated towards you.
Aw.
Every reel you do is like, hard. It seems simple, but it's like,
It's hard to commit to getting told no.
it sucks.
It
It's like,
sucks.
what do you mean?
And we've wanted to be told yes since we were babies, since we were little kids, right? We're only wired to like, but the thing about it is that before we knew what selling was, we were always selling, right? Mm-hmm. Mom said, no, go to dad.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. Like we'd find our ways to do it. And as we grew up, we became master manipulators. And I think manipulating is often, there's often a dark light over that word, but it's actually a great word. And you can, a better word for it would be influencing.
Yes.
Manipulating is the same exact word. So, you definitely, this is why reps are so important. And for you guys to definitely understand as, you're young in your entrepreneurship journey, is that like this resiliency is everything. And you're an addict. There ain't nothing any more resilient than an addict, right?
We're like never going away.
We are cockroaches. We don't die. We just don't. You can throw the world at us and we're going to get our fix. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
So now it's like a matter, but the
C-section because I had to be induced because she wasn't growing inside me anymore. So I had posted about it a while back, but it was more of a fear thing because I remember they went to check me and I was like, all right, if I'm a 5 or 6 centimeters dilated, then I'll just keep going without the epidural. They're like, oh, you're 3 centimeters. I'm like, give me the epidural. I can't go. I was like 16 hours in. I was like, I can't do this anymore. And so they gave it to me. And then I finally knock out and I get some good sleep. And then I wake up and I'm like, something's wrong. Something is wrong. I felt cold and they had 5 of those heated blankets on me and my body just kept seizing and I felt cold. And then they came and checked my heart rate. My heart rate was fluctuating. So hers was. And then they looked at my sister because this was 2 weeks after the lockdown. So there was only one person allowed in there and her father wasn't there. So she had to make the decision because I couldn't even talk. It was bad. And they were like, all right, we're going in.
Wow.
So 7. And then I think it was like maybe they go in. My sister had to sign something. I wasn't even like, I couldn't hear anything. I was just like, oh my God, please, like, just let her live. If anybody's going to live, it's going to be her. I've lived my life, whatever. And thankfully, she came out okay. But when I heard like my left arm went numb and I don't even remember, them resting her on my chest, but my sister got a picture of it. And I remember when I saw it, even thinking about it, excuse me.
I know you get me.
Sorry.
It's like the energy. I just,
Yeah,
she loves her daughter.
I absolutely, she's the light of my life. She's the reason. And I posted this the other day, your reasons why.
Yep.
She was the reason why I did it. Why I stepped on stage, why to this day, if I won't give up until I'm on that Olympia stage, that's where I'm going. Okay. And I know it may take me a while. And I got my first real no. I would say my first real no in July, like my first, what I feel is a true loss. I've lost and, I lost in May too, but it didn't feel the same. And I think it hit harder for me in July because of all the pressure and all of the diet. And it was 20 weeks, but it brought me back to that moment of feeling like I'm not going to live and that little girl needs to. And I remember I kind of brought it up in the last call and it was like a sore loser thing, but it was like, it's not a sore loser thing. It was just, you don't know what's going to happen next. And you feel like it's all over. And then you're like, no. And then I remember I closed my eyes, took a deep breath, and I saw that little girl's face and I saw that one picture of my baby girl on my chest. And I said, no, I'm not giving up for you. I'll keep going. And I want her to know that no matter what comes your way, no matter how hard and how lonely it can feel, you can do it. And I'll always be here for you. And even if I'm not physically in this world, when you feel that way, I'll always be here. I don't know if you remember our call, like when I first signed on, and I was like, oh, you were like, what do you mean no? I was like, it's a sassy yes. my daughter gives me a sassy yes every single day. So yeah.
Yeah, she is sassy.
She's literally me.
Okay.
My mini. Mm-hmm. So she's going to be a leader. I already know it. I can see it in her. So
But she comes from a leader.
One thing you said.
Thank you.
And that's definitely true. Actually, it's funny because I've seen a number of comments on your stuff. Like there's people out there that are like very supportive of you. You actually have a really cool support system. One thing you said was no matter how lonely you feel, and you guys can answer this better than I can because I've never been in prep, nor will I ever be. I have no desire.
It's not for everyone. We know,
but-
we've had several conversations. It's not for everyone.
But how lonely do you feel when you're in prep?
I've cried. I've cried to where it's like, why am I doing this to myself? Like, what's it for? And I'm like, no, you want to do this. Like, you have this image in your mind, like what you're going for.
Right, because, you know, especially like when you're in prep and you're doing stuff that everybody else is doing, but you can't enjoy it to the fullest, right? Like, it's lonely. You could be around 20 people and be the odd man out.
You know, I guess
lonely.
I've never looked at it that way.
But here's the thing. I think it gets not easier, but better with each prep. You know what to expect to a certain degree. And you're like, okay, I know that if I go out, I'm going to put myself in a miserable position while they're eating steaks and all this shit around me. And I could bring my freaking little Tupperware. Or I could go out and be like, you know what, have your steaks. I got my Tupperware and I'm having a good. It's the mindset you put yourself in.
Yeah,
It's
each prep
mindset.
is super, super different.
Yeah.
Like this, even I told her, I'm like, this one's different for me. 'Cause
Right.
I'm getting ready for my first national show. So it's like.
It's intense. This is like a no
Make or
dicking
break
around.
kind of thing,
Make or
yeah.
break.
Where's that show?
Anaheim.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you're doing the one here.
Where you're going.
USA's. You're going,
That's
aren't you?
right.
Everybody's going to be there.
That's right.
Bring the wife.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's like a weird feeling. It's not, because it's not the same. And it's different coach. It's
Who's your coach now?
Aubrey.
Oh, well.
Yeah. So I've never.
I mean, it worked out really good for Ange.
Right?
And
Yeah.
Aubrey's like, I mean, you know, she beat me up.
Dude, she's no joke.
Yeah.
She's
But
no
she's
joke.
like, I love her to death. Like, I've never had a coach tell, like, I know it sounds corny, but at the same time, like, she's told me she loves me. And it's just like, you know, you build, it's a different rapport.
Yeah.
It's a different foundation. Like,
Yeah.
I've gone through my fair share of coaches. Like, my last coach did a great job getting me ready,
Right.
but it's different.
Yeah, but well, you know, I know exactly why she's the way she is.
No, I do. I listen to her podcast.
Because she's like us,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
right?
Yep.
She's like us. And she, you know, it's so funny because, you know, that love that, like, you know, people like us can have for one another so easily is because, you know, when you've been through some shit, like no regular people have what we have. You understand that, right? Like, people that have never struggled, they don't have this. You and I have a place to go that no one else does.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And I'm speaking more towards like the Alcoholics Anonymous side of things. Like, nobody has that. Like, there's not a room for people that are like, you know, oh, I'm having a hard time with my husband. Like, okay, you can't go into a room that's like dedicated at all times for that exact situation.
You can
right?
have therapists.
You can have therapists, but they're not. Most of them haven't even lived through the shit that you are.
Which it makes it harder for people to go to, like, for me, I don't trust therapists because it's like, how do I know you can't tell me what you've gone
Well,
through?
I see, and that's the problem I have, is that I truly believe only the broken can fix the broken.
No, yeah. That's why I think for me, mine is trauma, because I've been through it. And even still, I told you something that I don't tell a lot of people in the car is that I was raped when I was like 19 or 20.
Oh, wow.
And, you know, it's just like, I remember waking up from it and I was just like, what happened? And then, you know, my only reaction was to cry.
Yeah.
And it was just like, what do I do? You can't do anything.
Right.
You literally can't. And especially, obviously, I know it happens to men too. And it does.
Okay.
It does. It does. It's just, it's different. It's very different.
Hard to rape
And-
the willing. You know, maybe in prison. I
mean, hey, men can get raped by men. It's not necessarily.
No,
you know,
right. No, I shouldn't play that off.
Yeah,
just,
but
know,
I mean,
it's like,
I know. Obviously, it's not as heard of.
Right.
It's not as much. You know.
I think of, like, you know, like the teacher with like the male student.
high
You're
school-
like-
the
you're
high
like-
school
you're like,
teacher.
They're still
yeah.
together, aren't they? Didn't they have a kid?
Oh, I don't know.
The blonde
I mean,
lady with the-
there's been more than one occurrence of that.
I think
but
they are, and he
I
just
could
turned
imagine-
18. And, yeah.
I can imagine, like, if one of my homies in school, like, you know, slept with a hot teacher, you'd be like, hell yeah, bro. Like, all the parents are like, that's rape. We're like, that's not rape. That's free game. Like,
He likes him old. It's okay. Yeah.
but no, and I don't want to make light out of this
No,
the
yeah,
conversation.
but it's true. That's
Yeah.
the way society looks at it, and I think that's why it's different. It's so different.
Yeah.
But you know, I've had clients. One of my male clients, you know, he's shared his trauma with me, which I'm obviously not going to share because I did not get authorization. But it's just like one of those. I'll always kind of like, how you doing? Like, are you okay? And like, just one of those things that you always want to check up on.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing, I believe, with, I mean, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but it's the same thing with you guys. That's why you guys have those meetings, to check up on how you're doing, because you're not always.
It is.
Yeah. So it's.
Yeah, it is. That's why we call our sponsor.
But that's why I wanted to do trauma, because there is no source for us. There is nothing except for each other.
Well, you have like Codependence Anonymous, but like
But you don't have like rape victim, like.
Well, no, I don't know. There are groups.
There are groups.
But it's how many people want to show up to that? Like, I felt like how old am I? 34 years old. Like,
yeah, no, it is. I've been to a handful of other types of meetings, and they're not nearly as impactful as like going to like an old AA meeting, a bunch of like old heads.
Yeah, the old timers.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have the best stories.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, they're funny.
Yeah,
and they make the rooms lively,
Yeah.
It brings some people, like when I was going afterwards, after rehab and everything, like they're the lively guys. They're the ones that brought me out of my shell. I was like, I got a fucking story. Like, you want to hear this? Like,
yeah.
And then people are laughing, and it ends up being like a real. And then you see the new ones like, this shit ain't funny. What the fuck? Like, what am I doing here? Because that was me.
Well, yeah, I've been, I sat through an HA meeting at one point, and that was like, I just wanted to know what it was about. I've never done heroin in my life, but I wanted to know what it was about. And they welcome everybody. It's not closed to, and I'm a drug addict. So I sat through that, and I was like, there's a lot of pain. There's a lot of pain. Like there are the most popular chip is obviously a 1-day chip, right? Like,
Right.
And it's like, and that one is, and there's some people with them clinging in their pockets from the day before, right?
Yeah.
Like, and it's like, when you go into some of those, it is, you realize that like, there are people out there, and whether it's they're addicts or whatever, but they are literally just trying to get through the day. And that's where we come into play. And I think the acceptance of it, right? The acceptance of like, I need to make it 24 hours. And whether you're an addict, porn addict, sex addict, or whether you deal with trauma and you're depressed, anxious, you have one day that you have to get through. And especially people that struggle with trauma, anxiety, suicide, depression, and all those things, they're,
it can be 1 hour.
Well, yeah, that's just it, because we're addicted to our thoughts. Right? We're addicted to our thoughts.
Yep.
So the biggest part with our addiction to our thoughts is obviously our past and in the future. So, you take somebody that suffers with depression or anxiety, which most of them struggle with both, you are literally sometimes going 5 minutes at a time.
Yeah, I mean, I was just at my best girlfriend's wedding this weekend, and
Your what?
one of my best girlfriends. I'd be lying if I said I was there and I didn't want to partake in the activities just because it was that embezzling fun. Like, but I know one is not one is 100. These women, they can handle themselves. They can, still was a lot, but it was a break. There was water, there was food. Like me, I'd be like one bottle done in the first hour. Let me black out, wake up, and then repeat it. Looking like shit, feeling like shit, and inside I was just like, God, Kristin, why can't I just have one? But it's not. And I think the best compliment that I got that day is one of the girls looked at me. She's like, you know what, Kristin, like for you being the sober one here, you're the most funnest person here. Like you make the best out of it. You're the one that's like, shots. You round everyone up. Like you're making the life. And she's like, you care and you're taking care of us. You bring waters, you bring us drinks. I'm like, because I'm having so much fun with you guys. Like this is my energy. I'm living through you vicariously in a way, but like, I am so happy and appreciative for my sobriety that will overcome any substance for me now. I'm like, fuck that.
I think it's because you've seen both sides, but you know the better option.
Oh yeah.
I already destroyed my credit once. I don't want to have to rebuild it again. Credit is very hard.
It is hard.
That determines everything in your life. And now I know that because I did have to rebuild my credit, which I'm still doing, which isn't the greatest, but it's gotten. And it's like that varies between, am I going to get this kind of car or that kind of car? Am I going to get that kind of loan or no loan at all? Like,
right.
And now that I'm starting to get these better offers and better things, I'm like, oh God, like, do I really want to waste this again?
Right.
For one night, for a few shots on a wedding, or just because I got bored?
Well, yeah, and it's important that you do accept that, right?
I have to.
Like, yeah, the psychosis of the addict is going to say, like, oh, I made it this far, maybe I could just try.
I do, but then I'm just
shot.
like, but why?
Right.
Why? So then, like, they can smell it on you, and then you get the guilt, and it's like, well, it was only one, but then, it's like, but
Well,
why?
it's not going to be just one.
It's not just going to be one. I'm not
Right.
dumb like
But it
that.
could even be like for us in prep, it's just one cookie. It's just
There's
one.
no fucking such thing as one.
But
cookie.
that's why.
There's no such thing.
It's the same thing. It's the same concept. That's
worst feeling.
But
So-
I think
so
that's what
I
makes
bet-
you so great at bodybuilding is because it's not just one.
Yeah.
Right.
It's the whole fucking
and that's the thing
pack.
about being an alcoholic too. Like we go right into sugar.
Yeah.
Oh my
If
god.
you start, I mean, you have that problem too.
I still do.
We send each other fruit things. You need to stop
Oh
sending
my!
it. to
I know.
my
I'm
God.
like, girl, aren't you impressed?
So,
Yeah,
so
stop.
we like Lizzie and I have a big issue with cookies. And,
Crumble cookies.
Yeah.
I remember
You
that.
know the
I
story?
remember the story when you were like, "No, we don't need it." You were watching something, and
was
you're like, "I
watching, yeah,
never lounge,"
WrestleMania.
and you were getting ready. Yeah, you were getting ready to order it, and then you're like, "No, we don't need it."
Yeah.
And then you hear the door, and she said she bought something from Amazon,
She said
deodorant,
she ordered deodorant.
and then you're like, "That wasn't deodorant. It's like 9 at night or something." And
Yeah.
then then there were
And then I
crumble
looked at
cookies.
her. I think she had a little crumb on her lip.
I
And
love her.
I'm like, and then this was even funnier. A few weeks prior, I was upstairs in my office, and she was like downstairs doing something. I thought she was feeding the dogs, and like I got a pretty keen ear, okay, and I heard a glass cup hit the granite, and like that was the sound of milk.
Ah.
That was the sound like that. I know that like
Milk and
if it was
cookies.
a glass cup full of water or wine, I would know that sound, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the milk, the density, the echo.
You're so funny.
And I'm like, you got cookies. You got cookies. I know it. I know you have cookies. And I walk downstairs and she's sitting there like when I catch Louie or Rolly pooping, like she's like, and I'm like, and again, crumb on her mouth. I'm like, you son of a bitch.
suck.
Like, what are you doing? Like, you're eating cookies without me. And
Without me.
yeah.
It's not even that she got
Yeah.
cookies and eating it. it's
Without
that you did
you.
it without
Well, no,
me.
and you know what, Brandon, he gets me, but we have to reset every now and then, and,
Well, it's not like you're in prep, so
no,
it's much different.
I know, but I want
Yeah.
to be like, I want to
be dialed in.
I want to be dialed in for
That's
the
it.
summer, and
Yeah.
and then during the summer, I'm going to give fuck all and do whatever I want.
Exactly.
Oh, he's a freak of nature.
He is a freak.
He is, and it's fun because anytime
He looks like a thick boy.
he is almost 200 pounds. He's but he's he's a freak of nature. But anytime we'll go to the gym, and if she's there, like everybody's looking at him because he's squatting like 6 plates, like just, and everybody's like, oh my.
Who is that? And we're like,
Who's
hi, Roy.
I'll just walk up. Yeah, that's my husband. He put a ring on it.
Oh,
Yeah, he did.
So, but even so, I don't know if you saw my my story when I did the chop on him.
man,
wellness, and then she moved to figure. Kayla, she's got red hair.
Oh no.
I think she switched it to
She's
purple. Yeah, you know who I'm talking about?
Yes,
She's I'll have to send you her, but she went into figure actually instead of wellness.
Really?
She was too Man, she was too yoked up top. You can't be yoked in
Well, she wrestles too?
She moved to wrestling for a little bit.
Okay.
And then cuz she's like a gym she's just freak of nature too.
Yeah.
Like she's just super built and then just can do flips and, stuff like that. So she decided why not, go that route.
It's all part of it.
Yeah, but I thought that to me that was cool. I think it was more because she was a bodybuilder first, and that's how I got to know her. Mm-hmm. And then she went that route. But then I kind of stopped following her when she did that. I was like, meh, but
No more
Anyways,
interest.
it just got boring for me. I was like, no, just kidding. But yeah, I don't know.
so you guys got a race back tonight. We have our call tonight.
Oh yeah, we do.
We'll be listening if we're stuck in traffic.
We shouldn't be.
No. But tonight's going to be really cool. We're going to have some fun. This was a really good show, and I think we have. Well, we're at 45. Mm-hmm. All right. Can you mark this, please, and edit back through? Thank you. Awesome. Yeah, we got a little bit of time. So,
All right.
Yeah. God, the wrestling really threw me off. What else is there to say? Coaching programs.
Yes.
Let's just get into this.
Yes.
You guys coach completely separately.
Yes.
Okay. So we'll go individually. What, and I know about you, obviously, I know what you're doing, but for the audience, what are you really aiming towards? What are you really trying to help?
Well, basically, I like to put my story out there about my addiction. I like to avidly talk about it because I want to show others that have been through addiction, recovered. I just wanted to know, you still can make something of yourself. You don't have to just be a normal person going on your normal life. You don't have to accept being basic and just, I don't know how to want to word this. Basically, you can do whatever you put your mind to.
Let me kind of go off of that because we do see a lot of people that are in recovery that do fall in love with fitness, right? Like it's massive, and obviously it's massive. We have 100+ of them that are in recovery that that are now coaching fitness, and it's really cool. The problem about alcoholics and about sobriety is a lot of times sobriety is all that you have. Mm-hmm. And we talk about being a dry drunk, right? And being a dry drunk is more dangerous than being drunk.
I've never heard that term.
A dry drunk?
Right. Mm-mm.
Dry drunks are miserable. Excuse me. They're just sober. Right? So they're it's at least when you're drinking, you can get fucked up.
Right.
So when we find out that alcohol is fun, drugs are a blast. They're awesome. I mean, I've had a great time. I love drugs, and I do. There's no doubt in my mind that I had some of the best times of my life on them. But guess what? I found something much better.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And if that's not training, actually. I like training, but it's a job now, right? It's I gotta go because I have to maintain an image of my body and everything like that. It's not I'm I love getting a pump.
I think that's even the same, for me at one point, I just loved, for a while, I never thought bodybuilding would be a part of my life. It was just, I like going to the gym. It was something to do outside of whatever I was doing at the time. But I think it was also an escape for me. I remember even in high school, I didn't want to be at home because my parents were fighting, or I just got in a fight with my dad, or I didn't want to be home.
Yeah.
It was just home was not a home for me.
Right.
It was just an uncomfortable place. So then I started doing basketball. I started doing track, cross country.
Right.
So fitness was more of an escape for me for the longest time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then I feel once you hit a plateau, then you're well, what now?
Right. And I think to go back to where, and that's where I'm at. Let me kind of give you a little bit of insight on where my mindset is with it, because my mindset has changed. And here's where I think why it wasn't as impactful for me and why it is for so many others. Okay. Because a lot of people find fitness, when they're in recovery, right? Because they have an escape, they have something. I was already jacked when I was fucked up. I was already like, I would be up doing coke, mushrooms, ketamine, acid, everything throughout the night.
Wow.
And then I would be up still tripping balls, and I would be in the gym at 5:30 in the morning, right before I had to be at work, but in my office by 9 o'clock.
Yep.
That's
Same.
crazy.
So to me, like when I got sober, it wasn't like, fitness is what's going to keep me sober. No, I was jacked. I was
already a part of it.
probably leaner than I was most of my sobriety, and in just as good a shape. So just not, my insides were completely destroyed, but at the same time, like that wasn't it for me. So as it got to being now, like I said, like, it's just part of my life. It's just what I do. It's just how I'm programmed. I just go to the gym. Like I don't really enjoy it. I like talking to some people in there, but like, I like challenging myself and all of that, but it's not like I'm like, yeah, fuck shit, bro. Like, that's not me at all. I don't grunt and do all that. Like I just get through my shit. I push myself to a failure. I know how to train, but at the same time, like it's not like I don't leave like, I feel better, obviously, but I can get that high from anything else, right? So to me, it was like, okay, transform my body, transform my mind. Now my enjoyment is spreading this. Now my enjoyment is being a leader. So where my better is found in leadership. So there's levels to this shit, right?
Well, yeah. You got to get to those levels, though.
Right.
I can't just jump there because I still got to go through all these others.
And I kind of want to like lay out kind of a hierarchy of, in my eyes, and I want to do it right here. That's a whole separate call. But I think that there is a hierarchy in recovery. Now we're in it for the bodybuilding. We're in it for our own mental competition, right? But then you're getting in the season of your career where you're ready to take it and show other people how to do that. Now, whether you take them and teach them prep, posing, or just to like fight the trauma, find fitness, find a healthy lifestyle, find better coping mechanisms, things like that. But your job is really to position them to be able to lead people.
Right.
And of course, the vast majority aren't going to. Okay. 1% does.
Yeah.
1% are real leaders.
Yeah.
And 1% have potential.
Yeah.
Right? 99% of people will not ever make it in anything.
I agree.
Right? That's why we are called the 1%ers, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
So your job is to impact as many lives as possible to hopefully land on some of those 1% that are able to, again, impact as many lives as possible.
Yeah.
Now, not 1% of lives will be impacted.
I see it in her posts,
Yeah.
and I know this girl in person, and so there's something that she's got to let me in on the secret. And then when she told me about you guys, I was like, fucking set me up.
We don't disappoint, eh?
Dude, no. And everyone that I've met on leadership, everyone is so individual, unique, authentic. There's not one kind. So it's like.
But guys, this is what I want to teach you how to do. This is the whole point, is for you to start to build your own community, right? Yeah, JWX is great. We do really well, but that's not my goal, is to like, I want you guys to have your own.
It's our stepping stool.
Right. And there's levels to this shit, and it's hard to skip a rung. Yes, a rung.
I'm wrong. Yeah.
Is that wrong?
A rung?
Is it wrong?
Yeah,
Is
a
that
rung
wrong?
to the ladder.
A run, not a wrong.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wrong. And man,
English.
words are hard. Words are hard.
Math is hard. Words are hard.
Words are harder.
I can't word.
But yeah, I mean, you can definitely, if you have the right people and you're able to really ignite those fires.
Yeah.
You know who's crushing it is Liz Savaggio.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah.
I'm not going to toot my own horn because she's an absolute killer. But Christina, and Liz are sisters.
Yeah.
Okay. And they were clients of mine to start. They were both my clients first. And then like Christina was really responsible for like 20% of the women clients that I have or had. And she almost like, and then she was really not responsible, but she kind of took on the position to like keep those women motivated and going, like in the program when I wasn't able to always, you know what I'm saying? Or
Yeah.
like, we had like, they had like women side groups, and some of them I wasn't even involved in. They would just talk shit about me and stuff. But Christina I went to college with. We were really good friends in college.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Yeah, really good friends in college.
Wow.
And I love her to death. She's like one of my favorite. But Christina's doing great. But let me talk about her sister. You understand that there's somebody in Detroit tagging her stickers all over the city, and people are texting her, your stickers are everywhere. She's like, I don't know who put that there, like on a parking, parking yellow, whatever, pole, post, whatever. Yeah. And she's like,
Interesting.
It's really crazy. She's like 2 months in at like, I don't know, like 12 or 14 clients, like
Good for her.
crushing.
Shit.
Right?
That's amazing.
But again, it's like getting the idea behind building and scaling your own communities, Like, I'll get mine. I want you guys getting yours. Right?
Right.
So this is where it is. It's like, this is like levels of leadership.
But I feel like I think you and I have talked about it, obviously, because when we worked out together, but we know it's coming.
Yep.
We just don't know when.
Yeah.
Well,
But obviously for us, it's like we have limited time for us. But then kind of what you said of like, I was literally thinking in my head, I'm like, well, how do I maximize my time? And you said, what was it? Time.
it's called energy allocation.
Energy allocation. So I was like thinking, like, you were like, well, I don't want to spend time watching this series or watching this show when I could be doing this. But I'm like, I think because I'm a mom, the multitasking is just like, I'll be washing dishes, listening to the sales call, taking care of my, like, and I'm sure you've seen it on coaching calls. You see me literally run.
Yeah, you're all over the place.
Yeah.
I pay attention to everybody's screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, it's just,
I can't. I have to focus only on one thing because I'm so.
Are you ADD? ADHD?
To the power of 10. Yeah. I can't multitask for anything.
What's really funny is though, like you can be, I've been medicated for attention deficit disorder forever. You can really beat this. You can, right? I don't know the answer. I wasn't going to give you the answer.
I'm like,
she's like,
But yeah.
she perked up in her chair really quick.
Yeah. No, not at all. I'm not going to tell you at all how I did it because I don't know, but I did.
Okay.
Totally possible. For me, like I watch everything, like all the docuseries. Like I'm caught up on everything. Right. All of it. Steve knows. Yep. I'm the one who gives Steve all the stuff to watch, and it's like everyone's like, "How do you do it? How do you run two businesses? How do you?" Well, I've learned how to allocate my time.
Right.
and my energy. So like, I have a TV in my office. So I sit in front, but I take long periods of time where I sit in front of my computer and I work and I have something running at the same time. And sometimes it's like, if I can take spurts of 20 minutes of just pure powering through the work, and then I can sit back for a minute. And then, you know what I mean? Like those 20 minutes, I can get so much accomplished. Or like when we need to do like serious work, just come here. Yesterday, we knocked out stuff that would have taken us a couple days in just a couple hours.
Right.
But yeah, it's funny. I was training with Jay, on Sunday, and he asked me, he's like, "You're ADD, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, no, I know." He's like, I was like, "Yeah." And I go, "Why are you?" And he's like, "Yeah, but not like you are." And I was like, "Oh, so you call me out just like that?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "But somehow you do it." He's like, "Somehow you manage it."
Wait, what was the difference between ADD and ADHD?
There's
I'm
ADHD.
Hyperactive.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
hypervigilant, everything. I'm like,
But I think that people misconstrue stuff like that, and they see it in such a negative light, because people with ADD or people even with autism are some of the smartest people and the most successful
Most type A
people.
Most type A business people are extremely ADD
or autistic, actually.
Or autistic.
Yeah, some of the best pilots in the world are autistic. And
I don't know how I feel about that.
It's because their brain functions at a different level. And it's just crazy that people, again, it's all about how you word things. But even still, I feel like people, if they understood things a little bit differently or looked at things in a different
perspective.
Moms have a superpower. You could be talking to someone across here when your baby's over here, be like, "Hold on one second. Yes, I already answered that. Okay, yep, go and do that." And and then you can literally go right back.
That's true.
Back to that conversation. And then once they said that, I remember they separated us to men and husbands and wives. And I could hear Roy talk. I mean, he talks loud anyways, but I could hear him. And I was like listening in, but also listening to them. They're like, "Are you listening?" I'm like, "Yeah, you just said this, and this." But I was listening to my husband say something about me. I'm like, "Hold on. Okay, we'll go ahead."
You know what we started doing to help out with engagement and sparking our brains in the morning? We do improv.
Ooh.
Yep.
Nice.
So we started doing this new game that I learned with Jay. So his wife and my wife, we went to brunch and we played this game for 2.5 hours. And we just did improv at our brunch table. People thought we were crazy, and literally act coming up with words and that's what we do. You know what else? Another one Lizzie and I do when we're out with other couples, we'll be at a lounge. People are pretending to be cool and stuff. We'll play heads up. We'll play heads up on our phones, waiting for our food to come out at dinner.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. I love when I see that.
I love
games. It's always doing something to get your brain active.
Stimulating the brain constantly.
Yeah, definitely. I think I want to start doing, when we do our next meetup, we're going to have some improv teachers come to it.
Nice.
Do group building, improv exercises and stuff.
Team building's always fun.
Yep.
I love those.
Improv is probably one of the most valuable things you can have in business is the ability to be able to like pick up and think really quick like that.
Totally.
Intensifies your brain functionality.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The other one, the other day, and it was so funny because Jay had texted me later on that afternoon. He's like, "God, I was just thinking about your answer." And he's like, "I don't know how I missed it." And you take two words and you got to take the two words and say I got a match, right? So you're 1, 2, 3, first word that comes to your mind. And the first word that came to someone's, it was Lizzie and Jay were going, and Lizzie said beard, Jay said hat. I go, "I got a match." And Jay's like, "Okay, I got a match too." And we're 1, 2, 3. And I go, "Lincoln." And he goes, "What the fuck? How did I miss that?" And then like hours later, he's like, dude, I'm still thinking about your match. He's like, I'm still like, how did I miss? Lincoln was like the best match.
Oh yeah, huh?
You know, but again, like that's like the kind of stuff
Remembered
like,
for
where
his
it's like,
beard
you
and
know,
set, yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
But it's like, you know, again, like just like practice, like, you know, when we played it the other day and it was like, it was fun. I was on the screens, you know, and Channy and all the guys and stuff. And we're just like ripping and it gets weird really quick.
I bet.
So.
I love Channing.
I know.
Yeah.
The She-Wolves is probably one of my favorite calls for sure for us.
I figured you guys would like that.
Heck yeah. There's a
I
lot.
don't know what's going on. I don't want to know.
Just women talking.
Yeah.
It's good to vent. It's
Exactly.
It's different. It's
No,
different,
I know.
yeah.
That's why I thought it would be a good idea.
But it's not even. It's not like we're talking crap. It's just
it's just,
No,
you know, yeah.
no, not at all, not at all. I just like, you know, it's. I thought it would be a really good like situation to put all the like have a call for you guys to have like all female energy in.
No, it's
And
different powerful women
yeah,
talking to each other.
Yeah, no,
I
I'm
love
glad.
it.
I know. I see. I don't really go in the thread very often because I don't want like I just want it to be your guys' thing. You know, just like how I was with my lady clients. Like, you know, I segregated them all on an island. But no, like, no, I'm kidding. But no, I just wanted them to have like their own, you know, way to like communicate and do things. And it worked out really well for the women clients. So then I was like, well, for the coaches too, like, why don't we give them a spot? You know, same reason I did for, you know, the We Do Recover page, you know, same thing, you know, that one's not as active as the She-Wolves one, but kind of not really a surprise. Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm really glad you guys like that, and I know Channy was the person to do it, but I can't wait to grow more leadership and stuff like that as we go. You know,
Totally.
That's definitely the goal. All right, so I'm gonna do this individually. Are you sleeping? Are you sleeping?
No.
No, I know. So Peaches,
Yes.
if we're gonna be looking for you, I'm looking for a coach. Where do I find you?
Miss MS_J Peaches _.
Okay.
Or if you got YouTube, Peaches Fit Inc.
You're pushing the YouTube hard.
Oh yeah, I'm finally
So-
past 100
it's so-
subscribers. I was
it's so
so
powerful.
excited.
I know we're inching our way.
You guys
right
are
now.
almost at 100K. I think
Are
I
we?
checked. Yeah, 96 point something.
Let me take a look.
I think.
Since January too.
I didn't, but I love YouTube because I use
98.2.
Yep,
Damn.
see? I checked.
98.2, Steve.
I think I checked last week. It was like 96.7. So you guys are already up there. I was
Killing
like,
it,
dang it, they
man.
beat me.
We're pushing it hard. We're pushing it really hard. We're going to talk a little bit about it. And then after this episode, you guys are going to be able to have your IMBDs. So that's going to help a lot because it's going to boost up your Google
Oh,
ranking,
right.
Nice.
which is attached to your YouTube ranking
Yeah. So
because Google's all
because you said
YouTube.
even if we have a movie or a long video on YouTube, right? Technically, so we can
Well, yeah,
still
but
already
we have
do that, right?
We have Wolves Only in IMBD, so you will be a featured cast member of Wolves
Oh,
Only.
I got you.
IMBD, so
I got
you'll
you.
Be able to,
Okay.
To be kind of like issued into that. So, yeah, we're going to talk a little bit tonight about SEO and a little bit about like your ranking and like getting your PR going and stuff like that. Because
Cool.
we want to, and again, it's not going to be everybody, but we want like the stars, you know, and I wish it could be every single person, but you know, some people work harder than others, right?
Totally.
But
yeah.
we want to be able to give you guys every asset to be able to land on what I'm about to land on, which is celebrity birthdays.
Oh.
Celebrity birthday.
Yeah, that's another site, I guess. That's like wicked cool I don't care at all.
I was like, that's a
But
thing.
my PR guys, celebrity birthdays.
It's just like finding feet. I didn't even know that was a thing until someone told me. Instead of only feet, it's finding feet apparently.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
interesting.
now you know. Did I get a pedicure?
I'm good at time management, but I'm not looking out there.
Someone had told me about it. I'm not on it. I swear.
How do I find you if I'm looking for a coach?
You can find me at Kristin with 2 I's _Radzitowski.
Oh goodness.
RAD.
Don't even worry about it. We're gonna put it. Just go down into the description. Both of the links will be put right there, ladies. This was so much fun.
This was awesome. Thank you for
Loved
having
it.
us.
Yes. This was great.
And we
look-
finally got to meet you.
I know.
Yeah,
Big
badass,
Papa.
man. Yeah,
Yes.
awesome, guys. If you really enjoyed this, make sure that you go ahead and click subscribe. Get us to 100,000 subscribers. Make sure you comment in there, like it, all the good stuff, and we really appreciate you watching. Until next time, ladies. Thank you so much.
Bye.
All right, guys, that wraps up an episode of the Wolves Only podcast powered by JW Fit. Listen, if you guys like what you heard, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like and comment, help us get our message out there. If you want to work with our team, go ahead and click the link in the description below. Schedule a call with us. We'd love to get you on. We really appreciate you guys listening. And if you have any other questions, you can reach out to us on all forms of social media. Thank you so much.